Good morning. I am back again to show you some more tutorials if you bought some of the kits that I made yesterday. So, if you had purchased one of the other ones before, thank you. And if you purchased some new ones, thank you so much. These are so fun to make. So, some of you might already know the basics if you watched the other videos that I made. And these videos apply to any cookie set. But today I'm going to do the mermaid because oof, it's exciting. Okay. So my colors may be a little bit different than yours. I'm just using all my leftover colors, try to be a little thrifty. And I am going to start with, the starfish. Okay, so when you get your bags, this most likely may occur in your colors. Okay, that's just a little separation of the water and flavoring, so it's fine. You just give it a little knead back up, get it back to its self, see? So it went from being a little bit darker, that one's hard to see, but maybe this one, nope. A little bit darker to all being incorporated again. So, like I said in my other video, I'm going to start with this one because I want it to set up a little bit because we're going to put some little details on that. But like I said with my other videos, you want to cut your bag. There's a little seam in it. If you want to get technical, you cut your bag, let that seam up, and see my finger right here? I'm just going to take a little teeny bit off. If you do too much, it'll just all flow out of the bag, and you won't be happy with it. You'll be frustrated. If you're little, you're probably going to love it. But for the bigger kids, they kind of like to do their best. So just take a little bit off, ever so little. Because if that's not big enough for me right there, that little piece, I can always make it bigger. But if you make it bigger, probably not going to be able to make it smaller. So, first thing I'm going to do is outline. I'm going to test. It's always nice, just do a little test. Ooh, that's coming out perfect. So, see? I just do a little wiggle test up there. And now I'm going to outline. And you don't have to get all the way to the edge. You guys are like beginners, so we'll just go in a little bit. See, so if you make this line, and you could stop right there. If you make this line nice and round like that, it's going to keep your icing from flowing over the side. You just have to go slow. I'm going a little fast. And be patient to let it dry a little bit. Okay, so that starfish is outlined and ready to be filled in. We're just going to set it aside for a second, let it set up. Hope you guys are being productive at home, doing your math and your writing and your homework and staying in touch with your friends and not giving too much biz to everybody, not causing too much shenanigans for your mom and dad. So I have this color left over as well. All my colors are left over from when I mixed all the colors for the kits. And I said, I'm going to use those for my demos. So we don't like to waste. If you guys have any leftover icing, sometimes Safeway has like blank cookies. I don't know how good they taste. They probably taste fine. Blank cookies, right now they probably have some Easter ones, maybe like a chick or a bunny. I'm not sure. You can get a set of those and use the rest of your icing on them and practice. It's always a good thing to do. Okay, so now we're going to outline, and I am just going to outline the top of my mermaid tail because I want to do the bottom in a different color. So you don't have to get all the way to the edge. That way it ensures that you have a little bit more room not to go over, okay? So I'm going to let that set for a second. So I'm kind of doing my outlines, as you can see, because that way if you want to cut your bag bigger at the end to fill them, you can, but I wouldn't because you still want to use this little small opening for details and stuff. So the icing is one consistency, which makes it thick enough to do an outline without it running over, but thin enough for you to fill in with it. So that's really successful for cookiers, and it that way you don't have to make two consistencies. But if I was making like tons and tons and tons of just this one, I might make a thicker one and then fill them all in with the outline and then come back and flood. But for just a few cookies, you can just make your consistency one consistency, and there's a million recipes for icing on the internet, so it's not rocket science, trust me. It is not. So I have this purple, but let's see. My purple feels a little bit. All right, let's get our purple nice and kneaded. It feels a little bit thicker than the other ones, which is great because I'm gonna use that for the bottom of my mermaid tail. All right, so for my seashell, I want to use this color. I made a lot of that color. That's okay. Sometimes you can remix this and make it a different color. Almost all my colors I have here are mixed together, and then I made big batches of the colors that you see. So that's kind of fun. So I can see this one had a little separation in it. So if you don't do this, then it's going to come out really, really fast and runny, and we don't want that. Okay, so let's do the tip cut with this one as well. Little tip. I just want to take a little bit off. Okay, so we're going to do some fun things with all these cookies. These are some of my favorite shapes to ice. Some of my favorite. So you just go nice and around. You don't have to get too close to the edge, like I said. That's fine. Go nice and slow. You don't have to put a lot of pressure on your bag either. Okay, so now that guy is ready to rest for a second. So the next thing I'm going to do is, now that you can see, this is dried a little bit. It's not so shiny like that one. So that means it's ready to be filled in. So you just come back to your color. And like I said, I made this so it's thick enough to not run over the sides, but thin enough to ice your cookie. So I'm just giving my bag a little squeeze. And if you need to move it a little closer to the edge, you can use your bag, okay? You can move over this way a little bit so you guys can see better. Move your bag all around your cookie. Okay. Sometimes I just like to fill in these little parts. But you can do it however you want. You can do these in whatever color combination you want that's in your kit. I'm just using these ones right now because this is what I have to work with. And you guys are probably going to have different sprinkles than me and all that. That's okay. That is okay. All right, I'm almost filled in. See how the icing just melts right into each other? That is the perfect consistency for a one consistency icing. Okay, so there is that. Now, I gave you some toothpicks in your kit to use as scribes. Not everybody has toothpicks at home, so, and probably most people don't have a scribe. But this is what you can use to move around your icing if you want. You can use it, I don't have any bubbles, but if you had oh, there's a little teeny one. You could pop bubbles with it, so your cookies look nice and smooth. You could move your icing closer to the edge with it. See, that way you don't have to get to the edge. You can just give it a little scoot over. So that cookie I'm going to set aside and let it dry, but this is called a scribe. And you can get all kinds of scribes. You can get a scribe like this from a cookie decorator. I got this from the Cookie Countess. You can get a scribe like this from Amazon in a 6-pack. Or you can get a really fancy one like that. Isn't that fun? Super fun. It even has a little heart on it. Super cute. I love that. So for us, we're just going to use the pink one because this is great. And this side's flat right here. Because if you ever needed to scrape off some icing because you didn't really like it, you could scrape it off with that. But you always want to make sure it dries a little bit because this would just run all over and make a mess. So you want to make sure that you leave your cookies on the counter overnight. Don't cover them while they're drying because they need air. Otherwise, it'll get all warbly. So we're going to let that cookie set up a little bit. We'll go back to our mermaid. So that's a good way to do it. Work in steps. Now you can see the sheen. See, that's wet, it's shiny. And this isn't wet anymore. So it's ready to be flooded. Okay? And we're going to come back and flood this mermaid, top of the mermaid tail. Super simple. Okay. And you don't have to worry about getting too close to the outline. If you don't want to, you can always move the icing over there with your toothpick after, your little scribe. Okay, I'll show you that. I'm going to stay away from the edge on purpose so I can show you guys. So, and this icing will settle. It looks a little bumpy, but watch it. It's smoothing. See, it's smoothing right before your eyes. So don't get too panicked if you think it's too bumpy. Little kids, you're just going to go for it. So you guys just do your thing. You guys do your thing. Big kids, this is kind of like for you. But I'd say 6 and up can probably do a pretty good job on this. All right. So there you have it. So there's the top of our mermaid tail. So we want to give our mermaid tail the little pretty scallops, right? So I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use this color. I don't know why. I want to. So to get that effect, you can do some lines across. Oh, I love that color combination. That reminds me of the beach. Do some lines all the way across. You can space them out close or far apart, however you want to do it. Okay. And our icing's pretty wet, so you don't have to rush. But if it was really, really thick icing, you'd kind of have to rush. So I like to go up the middle and then on the side. So you're just taking your little toothpick and you're just starting at the bottom and you're just moving it up. There you go. See how I was holding my hand? It's really good to stabilize your hand. And it just helps with, you know, making sure everything stays steady. So that's good. That's great. So we're just going to let that sit for a second. And we'll come back to our shell. Because our shell is also starting to dry. It's not shiny anymore, the outlines. That means it's ready. Okay. So we can fill the shell in. And my tip's kind of small on this, so it's going to take a few minutes. But I don't want to cut it bigger because if I want to use this bag for details, I'll have a big hole in it. So it's okay if it takes a little while. You guys have nothing but time. Oh, I hope everyone's doing their schoolwork and learning some things, having fun with their family, all the things while you're home. I started decorating cookies the fall of 2017. So this will be my 3rd year of decorating cookies, which is super fun. I love being able to make cookies for everyone's events. I'm going to make my hole just a teeny bit bigger. I'll still be able to do some details with it, but that way it just comes out a little. See how much better it's coming out? That way you guys don't have to watch a marathon of flooding a cookie. It's not that exciting, but it's very satisfying. So yeah, I started selling cookies December of that year. Christmas cookies. Actually, it wasn't even Christmas cookies. I made Christmas cookies for my sister to give as gifts. The first set I ever sold was a New Year's cookie set. I'll be forever thankful to that person that bought them because I was like, really? And they're like, yep. And that's how I became a business. It just all happened from there. And if you have seen, most of you have seen my Instagram account, I have lots of cookies on there. I have made lots of cookies, and some cookies are not even on there. I mean, I've made way more than that, but sometimes you just don't get them posted. That's okay. So I'm just kind of moving around my icing. Don't panic. You have a little bit of time. So just get that like that. Okay, now I want to do the same thing I did on that, on this, but I want to do my, I'm going to do my lines opposite for my shell. So for my shell, it's going to make like a little, like that. And like that. You can do as many lines as you want or as few lines as you want. I'm just going to do 3. Okay, so we're all set there. Then you're going to take your scribe and do the exact same thing. So I'm going to do it, since I'll probably come back and do an outline for the scallops. I want to do my lines in between my scallop so they'll show. If I did them actually on these lines, they would be filled up with the outline when I come back. So this will all go back together. So, oops, I just did what I didn't want to do, but that's okay. I'll do another one. That's funny. That's because I was talking about it and then I did it. Oh, it's okay. Okay, so that looks adorable. Now, at this time, I want to put some sprinkles right there. You guys have different sprinkles than me because I made special sprinkle kits for you guys. So I'll just use these. They might not match that great, but actually, let me use these. If you guys have white, when in doubt, you always have something that matches. White sprinkles are good for everything. So I want to put some white sprinkles on here. And you guys can put white sprinkles on these while they're wet, okay? So if you want to add sprinkles to your starfish while it's wet, have at it. No problem. You just do it. I'm just doing this one. This icing is pretty thick. I really like that consistency. So consistency is, that word means the consistency is how nice and thick it is, okay? So if it was thin, it'd be a thin consistency. That's like the state of something. Something can be nice and consistent like that. That means it all works the same. And I'm going to put one of these balls in there. You guys probably have some in your kit. I'm not too positive. I don't remember. My niece, Taylor, made all your sprinkles for you. She went into my sprinkle cabinet, which let me tell you, there's a lot of sprinkles, and she created all your sprinkle kits to match your cookies. And then I went from there and made the icing. So we worked together to make it all nice and matchy. So isn't that cute? So other than a little outline, I'm going to leave that one like that. I like it. It's simple and cute. So now we're going to come back to the mermaid tail. And we're going to use purple. I'm going for it. Maybe I'll use pink. Dark color, dark color. What do you guys think? You're probably all shouting, purple. We'll go with purple. We will do purple. Get my good scissors. Just going to cut a little bit off the tip again, okay? A little bit. And I have a link in my profile on Flood and Frost. Whoops. And you can watch these tutorials over and over, or you can not watch them. You just want to wing it, that's fine too. Like I said, you guys can do any color combination you want because it's fun. You can come right next to that because it's dry. See, if you let your colors set up, you can go right next to them. If you don't let them set up, they'll run together. And sometimes that's okay. It just depends. But for this one, I don't want it to run together. Yeah, I just want it like that. Ooh, that's a fun color combination. And there you have it. There you have it. Then, if you want, see right there, it's not that pointy? Well, guess what? You can get your toothpick out You can just draw it right up there. See? And just make it look really perfect. That's how you can do it. You guys can do this. Okay, so now we're going to move this one. I'm thinking I would put sprinkles on that, but I might want to do a little outline on it. So if I put sprinkles, the outline won't lay flat. So I'll do some different sprinkles after I do the outline. Okay, so our little guy over here, I'm hoping is dry enough to do our thing. We need to put our little bumps on our starfish, and I'm going to get one of these little balls and put it in the middle. I think I'll go with blue. Does that sound good, guys? I think I'll go with this blue one at the end. So I'm going to set it right there so it's ready to go. Okay, so I'm not looking for it. All your sprinkles came in these nice little cups that Taylor filled with all your special sprinkles just for you in the kit you bought. Okay, so let's see. Let's see how we're doing here. So I'm going to start in the middle, and I'm going to do a nice big, you could just go in a circle like that. I'm going to drop my cute little ball on. There we go. Now I'm just going to make my old little, so just set it down and give it a little squeeze. You can give your starfish a little movement. Don't make it straight. And you can start with your dots bigger, and then you can get them smaller as you go. Just squeeze a little bit less. Okay, you don't have to push down onto your cookie when you're doing this, okay? You're just touching with the icing. Leave your tip above the cookie so you don't smush it. Because then you'll be like, no! Trust me, I've done it many, many, many times. If you guys had edible glitter, you could add it right after you were done doing this. I have edible glitter, but I'm not going to put it on there because you guys don't have any, and I want ours to be matchy-matchy. So, yeah, super fun. Most of you guys live in Half Moon Bay, so you get the beauty of the beach anytime you want, but not right now. Okay, so I am pretty much happy with that. That is how it's going to be. I'm not even going to put these sprinkles on it, even though I'm tempted. I will save those for my mermaid. Okay, so that guy is finished. Isn't he cute? So just outlining, flooding, letting it sit up, and then putting your dots. And then I put one of those in the middle just because. Have to. Come on. All right, so let's go back to our shell. And now we're going to do, well, you could leave it just like that. Okay, that looks fantastic. You could leave it just like that. I'm going to do this just because I want to show you that you can go on top after. And I'm going to go this way, all right? You can go right back up that line, or you can start at the top again. So you can stop here, and then you can go up here, which will probably be easier for you guys. Okay, this just gives it a little more of a shell-like feel. But leaving it the other way is perfectly fine as well. In fact, if I was doing cookies for someone, I would probably do a combination of both. It's fun when you get to do the same cookie different ways in a set. You don't need to see it the same way every time, right? I'm just going to swirl this around a little bit so I can make it look attached. Boom. There you go. Super cute. Super adorable. So that, just with a little bit of outline, you guys. This isn't that, it's okay. I just bumped my cookie. That's what happens when you move them. But that's okay. I can fix it. Nothing a little sprinkle won't fix. Give it a little. Sometimes it's wet enough to fix itself. Okay. So we have our mermaid tail. Now with our mermaid, let's see. I think I'm going to go with purple up here. Okay, so I'm going to go with some purple up here. So I'm just going to make a little base so something can stick to that, right? we're going to go with, I'm going to go with these sprinkles right here. Sweet Sparkle. They have a unicorn on the front, but we're using them for our mermaid just because they're so sparkly. And it's okay if, I would have let this dry longer so sparkles wouldn't stick to it, but we don't have that kind of time, so I'm just going to do it now. And after that dries, those may dust off, but if they don't, it's okay. And if your icing kind of starts trying to pour over, just tap it back up, because that's a lot of weight on the icing. So you can just tap it back up. It's okay. You guys got a little leeway. It's not, oh no, panic time. Nope, you have a little leeway. You have a few little minutes. Okay, then for my tail, I just want to do a little outline. Right? Cute little outline. Just every little detail just adds a little bit more, right? Simple Simon. I think I want to put a little bead at the tail, at the base of the tail. What do you guys think? Do whatever we want. It's our mermaid. I think I'll do it in, let's see, look at all these colors I have. Isn't those fun? Got these at Hobby Lobby. I think I'm going to do it in, I think I'm going to go white. I know I have all these colors. You guys are probably saying purple, pink. I think I'm going to do white. And you guys can do purple when you get yours. That's fun. I'm just going to put a little teeny dot of icing, which is kind of like food glue. Let's just be honest. That's what it is. And I'll just put that right at the base. Okay, there is your simple mermaid tail, shell, and ta-da! Let's move it over. Starfish. So fun. So all of these techniques apply to whatever cookies you're making, okay? If you got the rocket kit, if you got the unicorn kit, if you got this kit, the dinosaur kit, I already decorated the dinosaurs. I'll do the dinosaur foot, but I already did the dinosaurs on the other one, so I don't have to do those again. But there you have it. Isn't that fun? So I'm going to make some other videos of the other ones. They take a little while to upload, so just be patient. And I'm going to upload these to YouTube right now and enjoy watching. I hope you learned something. Thank you so much for buying my kits. Thanks for just being my customer. Thanks for keeping me company. You know, I'm sitting at home too. So thanks for keeping me company. Have a great day.